This is my world.
Let's make it count.
I must practice tolerance.
Next, GSL Season 2 Renaissance.
2019 Mountain Dew GSL Season 2 Codex Renaissance.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the GSL Code S. We're back now, Saturday, 1 p.m., to go into Group D for today's matches.
Yeah, it's been a long week of StarCraft, and this marks the halfway point of the round of 32, which we'll be finishing up next week. Make sure you spread the word, since all the other days are at 6:30 p.m.
That's right.
Hard to keep track of this being on right now.
So after today, we'll be halfway through the round of 32. Again, all of next week, we have nonstop StarCraft. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, StarCraft 2 at 6:30 p.m. KST, then KSL for Thursday and Friday, 7 p.m. KST, and then back on Saturday at the same time that we are here right now, 1 p.m. KST. So hopefully you'll be joining us for this entire week.
Yes, perfectly explained. It's a good group today. We've had a lot of upsets so far this season,
yes,
which is kind of wild. Maru's already out. Zest is already out. That is like the best Terran and the Protoss has done the most, basically, in GSL. Anyways, before we talk about that too much more, we have a Nesty Award to hand out. Brian, why don't you take it away?
All right. The signature that shows consistency, the Nesty Award. Alive, he's reached 10 consecutive codests in a row, so let's meet him. First of all, here's the trophy for the Nesty Award. And congratulations. How do you feel about receiving this award? Good afternoon, guys. No, I'm very content that I received this Nesty Award. No, I can't really believe, and also it's a very meaningful moment that I can receive this award. And I've come a long way for it. And I haven't put a lot of thought about it. However, as I receive this award, I'm going to put more effort into it and do better. No, you made it consistently to Codes, and also you've been consistently making it to round of 16 until beginning of the year. What are your expectations going into this season? No, the past is past. No, I feel great today. I hope to play some amusing games in front of the fans. I hope you provide some flourishing results. Once again, show some applause to Alive.
Thanks so much, Brian. That's such an impressive award to get. 10 consecutive GSL Codes tournaments.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's wild to think that he's only the 11th to get it after so many years. And even the time span between Nesty and the second person who got it is really hilarious, too. It's like Nesty really was a god.
It's incredible, too, because consistency is something very hard to really pull off in StarCraft 2. And the kind of consistency where you're just in this many GSLs in a row, that's incredibly difficult. I mean, everybody in their career in competition has ups and downs. You're not winning every game. We even saw Maru get knocked out in this season. So to be one of the top 32 players in the world consistently like this is a big deal. So congratulations to him for pulling it off. Not many other players have.
You know, we'll see if he can kind of carry that momentum forward here tonight. This group is actually really tough, in my opinion. Sue has been in fantastic shape so far this year, winning IEM Katowice, and of course Deer. I actually thought he was going to win last season. Maru ended up knocking him out, but Maru's gone, man. Maru is no longer in the tournament. Zest knocked him out of the Super Tournament. Zest is no longer in the tournament. I would not be surprised at all if Deer ends up winning one of the GSL events this year, whether it's a Super Tournament or a GSL Codes.
Well, he's looking to be in great shape right now. You know, we were hearing whispers in the 4 months that we had off of StarCraft 2 at the end of 2018 and start of 2019 that Deer was murdering people in practice. He was in incredible shape. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to do here this time around. Creator has also been showing some better games than what we're used to seeing.
Yes, he really is. Like, he had that spurt very early on in 2012 of being one of the best Protoss in the world. And then he fell off the radar. He fell off the planet Earth. Radars couldn't even reach him, basically. But he's come back very strongly since one of the Super Tournaments last year and just had some fantastic games. He's not always perfect. He kind of reminds me of Hurricane quite a bit, where his best games look really good, but sometimes he just falters completely. Actually, and it looks bad.
I think you really nailed it with comparing him to Hurricane, where like he's a good player, but we were used to kind of seeing Hurricane get punted out of tournaments. He was always the extra, but just like Hurricane's been playing really well and really bringing it this year, I think same thing with Creator. So let's see how this PvP goes. We're going to start this out on Cyber Forest here for Game 1 in this best of 3, Deer versus Creator.
Newbie, Deer.
That's a cool jacket, actually. I like that.
Jin Air Green Wings, Creator.
What about that jacket? Do you like that jacket?
That is not a jacket. That's a colored T-shirt, but it looks good too.
Well done, Artosis.
Yeah.
You did not fall for my trap.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm excited to see how well a Creator can play here today. If he puts out his absolute top play, he definitely has a chance of getting out of the group. I mean, you have to look at the group and say that Deer and Sue should be the ones advancing, but again, you know, Creator, he can be very strong. He is on Jin Air Green Wings for a reason. He's not just a mascot. So we will see how well he plays. Of course, he's got Trap and SOS on that team, so I mean, that's about as good as you can get for Protoss to help you with your build orders for today. From
what I've learned here with Creator, it's he definitely has a harder time getting his head in the game compared to some of these other players. And look, we've definitely had players throughout esports history that found their stride later on. You know, some players, the game comes out and they're just the ones where the game gels with them and they're able to dominate and play and really deliver. And sometimes those people fall off as everybody else kind of catches on to what they figured out and they weren't able to innovate. And then you have other players who maybe they weren't able to kind of map out their understanding of the game as quickly, or they weren't able to, from Canada, thanks for coming down, guys. Or these players were not able to really get comfortable playing in front of big audiences. And so that's when you can have maybe a player like Creator who does end up finding his stride much later on. And it's tough to come out and dominate when you have a game that's really been figured out. This is true for any game. With the fact that we're just all connected on the internet now, people that have been playing for a long time, it's really hard to step in and try to surpass these people, but it does happen.
It certainly can, and I mean, that's part of the excitement of the game, that, you know, anyone actually can practice hard and eventually do that, but it is a tough, long road to be able to get up there. And it's kind of cool that Creator was kind of up there way early on, and now is starting to become a little bit of a regular in the top of the scene again. So it looks like a Stargate coming down here for Creator. Has plenty of Stalkers. Probe going to see the Nexus, and the Nexus just started. Of course, a Robo at home for Deer. Kind of interesting, just has his 4 Adepts sitting back as well. And it's actually going to be Phoenix play from Creator.
So, yeah. Let's go into this. Robo versus Phoenix. Definitely the game going in different directions on both sides here, tech-wise.
And only Adepts being made. That's kind of interesting. We'll see how well he does with this. Obviously, if you miss the pylon block or something like that, that can be disastrous. Stalkers, though, can out-micro them to a certain degree. There's enough Adepts to kill those Stalkers, though, if they get up on top of them.
Yeah, let's see if he just gets caught off guard by this. The Phoenixes are being banked down here. Okay, so the Stalkers immediately are trying to kite. Now, he's not going to allow these Stalkers to get any extra damage on here. Is he going to commit? Now, now this is an awkward moment here because the Stalkers are stuck on the other side there. So he has to actually cancel that. The Phoenixes are then pulled in here to try to help out. Now, the Adepts are going to try to target down as many of these probes as possible. And we already have, what, 7? Yeah, now 8 kills. And that number should continue to go up just a little bit more here. 10 probes killed, which puts the worker differential at 32-17 with Deer in the lead.
That is pretty huge. That was very well done. When you have that many Adepts, you absolutely can power down their wall. And I feel like Deer is showing us some extremely cool plays so far today. He just sat on those Adepts for a very long time. So Creator didn't really know exactly how many were coming. And thus, you know, his wall just got busted. You see shades, you automatically, you know, throw down like a pylon or a shield battery. But in this case, that was absolutely not enough.
I really want to highlight something you're saying there, Toast, is because it can look confusing as to why Creator was so not ready. But the fact that the Adepts stayed back for that long, that's what's so great about that. It's a really unusual moment to attack in with a large number of units. A lot of times because you don't see the presence of those Adepts, you assume that they're doing something else.
Yeah.
When in fact they were just hiding something that is more commonly used earlier on.
Generally your first 2 Adepts hit and then your next 2 Adepts hit as well.
Right.
And then when you have 6, those will hit. But, you know, when you're just kind of sitting back and waiting and building that, it's a very interesting kind of off-meta move that did fantastically there for Deer. And now you look at how Deer's playing from here. He went Robotech against Stargate, which is at a slight disadvantage. But he just makes an observer, sets it out front, sees what's going on. He can go scout with that then, and adding on his Stalkers, and he got the quick forge as well. So focusing on getting into a longer, better game, really trying to build upon his lead. He got ahead, and this is a great way to get more ahead. You get those forge upgrades going. I tell you, since Season 1 this year, every game I see a Deer, I'm like, he is so good.
Yeah.
Everything he does is just gelling with my brain, with my soul tasteless.
I'm loving it. It's
I
cool
was
to
a
see
Zest boy. I'm a Deer boy now.
Wow, you're switching teams, huh?
I'm switching teams.
So, you know, it's interesting because Deer was one of the only Royal Roaders we ever had. A Royal Roader being somebody who actually shows up first time in a GSL and then wins it. And then Deer got pushed way into the background of prominent StarCraft players, prominent Protoss players even. I mean, he was known to be good, but a lot of times he would just get owned in some of these games. And so we kind of got used to him being more of a, you know, again, a kind of a player overshadowed by some of these other guys. But this season and this year in general, he's really delivering. So far in this game, we've just now had Creator actually catch up as far as workers go. But Army supply is still a little bit superior here for Deer. Deer taking his third base. Now, Creator is matching the third base of Deer with his own third base, but it would seem like the trajectory mathematically here is going to be a bigger Army for Deer in the long run. And that may become a problem here if Creator is going to try to expand again or maybe even hold his third base.
Yeah, I think there's no question that Deer is going to be hitting sharply upon his +2 finishing up. He's got so many gateways. He's just now starting to add a few probes as well. I'll be very interested to see exactly how many probes he wants to go up to. You know, not too many games get a fully saturated third base in PvP in Korea right now. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. But when he hits this, he nailed this so hard this game, right? He's been ahead economically. He's way ahead in Army, and he's going to be up an entire attack upgrade.
So this was a... So these shots are staggered in such a way that these probes aren't dying. So this is one excellent way to try to come back and do a little bit of damage. Now, he used those lifts to get those probes, but there's this huge attack coming down here now.
The thing is, nothing in this Army is actually a great target to lift up. You know, there's so much anti-air here. There's Archons here. There aren't any Immortals.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I suddenly decided the Immortals were on the other player's side. So this position here, this is how Deer's going to set the closer. Now, he has this arc that he can catch the Army in. Creator intelligently does not go down and take that, but instead decides to give up his third base. And let's see if Deer tries to attack in, but, you know, he doesn't even have to be honest.
Yeah, like he can just go into the third base. It looks like he wants to. There's only one shield battery, but there is a prism.
The hallucinated Archon expired. And we're going to have this attack come in here now. That's it. GG. Deer takes game one. a lot of that, actually, I'll say all of that comes back to those Adepts getting in there, surprising Deer and killing those workers.
It was one of the cleanest things I've ever seen right there, that game from Deer. Like just the tech continuation after the Adepts into the gateway explosion, continuing upgrades, setting up perfectly to snipe the third Nexus, and then realizing that, in fact, he has enough to simply end the game at that point. This was an immaculate game from Deer.
Yeah, really beautifully done. Creator feeling the heat. I mean, this is definitely starting to look like what past days of GSL with Creator have been. It's tough, man, when you get caught off guard like that and take a beating, because it's easy for Deer to get the closer from there. He got in there and did the damage. I mean, sometimes people want to make some of these games like that more technical, but really it's just he got to get a bigger army. There was not that many opportunities for Creator to try to come back, and Deer did an excellent attack in there, blocking out the army for protecting the third base and just closed it out and won.
It was beautiful. So well done.
So we're going to go to the map New Repugnancy here for game number 2. The winner will move on to the winner's match. So no one's going to get eliminated just yet, but right now Deer is looking to be one of the best Protoss players in Season 2 of the GSL Code S already. Let's see what happens as we hop into game number 2. Right now, Deer with a 1-0 lead.
Newbie, Deer. Jin Air Green Wings, Creator.
So when I see a game like that, right, and even with the fact that he went into Robo and then saw Stargate and just had like perfect transitions planned out, I get very nervous for a player like Creator.
Yeah.
Because mechanically, I don't think that Creator's better. Micro-wise, I don't think that he's better. Even if he's brought really great strategies, from that first game, Deer seems just very, very strong. Yes, he killed a bunch of probes, and that made the game extremely easy for him to finish off perfectly. But just watching even the decision-making there and the crispness of it definitely means something about the level that he's playing at right now.
Right.
And when I try to formulate an idea of what I want to see from Creator to challenge him here and take it, it's hard to come up with something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Part of me was getting pretty used to seeing a lot of the underdogs win and a lot of upsets happen, but after looking at game 1, I kind of wonder if maybe this one is the writing's already on the wall, you know. By the way, Creator has hidden a pylon in the bottom right. We basically almost always have a hidden pylon in PvP now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's also common for both players to hide something, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to create ambiguity in PvP. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard for players to not want to go for that. Anything hidden, anything rushing out. It's also hard to punish proxied buildings early in PvP. It's
Yeah, well, I mean, you can like make stalkers and try to send them out, but if your opponent like goes Adepts and goes towards your main, you're in trouble. Or if he runs his stalkers towards your stalkers they're attacking, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So even if
it is hard to
spot
eliminate early.
Which, by the way, this is going to be spotted, but you at least know, which is nice, especially with Stargates, knowing about them ahead of time is very helpful. But yeah, it's difficult to try to go directly for a punish. Now, in this case, we have what we were just talking about, which is it's just the two Adepts come in, and they're going to kill workers.
Yeah.
But
that couldn't have been better time.
Yeah. we look amazing for for the start of this cast, but. So already some workers are going to be killed. The number is what? It's going to be about 5 here? No, 4. Looks like he's not quite microing that well. But he did unpower the Stargate. Mm-hmm. Now, in this case, I would actually take losing the 4 probes out of over... I'd be fine losing the 4 probes if I can unpower their Stargate is what I'm trying to get out.
Yeah, the entire tech path is stumbling now, and he's getting an Oracle of his own. So You don't even have the potential to build a Phoenix to really ward that off. The Oracle kind of is going to have free reign. But Creator has done a good job of taking this terrible situation and doing something smart with it. He's thrown down a Twilight as well as a Nexus.
Now, I wonder, is the Twilight the most obvious thing you're going to tech into? I don't think you'd get another Stargate. I don't think...
No,
I think a Twilight makes sense when the Stargate's unpowered and the rush has failed. The plan B seems to be logically the Twilight.
Yeah, and what I'm actually thinking, you see this Twilight for Deer, I bet you he goes Dark Shrine. Like, that is, we'll see in just 1 second here, but that used to be a build. We've only seen it once recently, and it's kind of a weird situation, but see that?
There
Dark
it is.
Shrine. So, yeah, it's a good situation because he's very aware of, like, the right moves, and the right moves, quote-unquote, for a Creator here is a Nexus and a Twilight, because you're playing against Stargate, you're not going to die. You have to get some anti-air. Blink Stalkers are really that anti-air that you want. You're not going to throw up a Stargate like you mentioned. So going directly into this Dark Shrine is just, it's a great move.
Yeah, well, a lot of times if you get into a deficit, a Dark Shrine could be one of the outs this time around. We have Blink coming here on both sides.
Yeah.
Did he scout that? He did.
He did, and he turned
Cancel.
Yeah, he turned it at the last second there. So you can tell he actually saw it. So we see the cancel from Deer, and it just goes directly into a Robo. So no harm, no foul. I think it was a great move that could have given Deer a free win. It doesn't this time.
Right.
But moves like that, again, I'm seeing the exact same thing from Deer here as I saw in Game 1, where his decision-making is instantaneous and so smart.
Yeah, he's definitely reacting. In PvP especially, with all the different builds and strategies you could have in PvP, you have to be able to react and alter your style of play depending on what intel they get or don't get. The worst way to play PvP is to premeditate what's going to happen no matter what they scout or what they do. That is going to get you to a certain distance on the ladder, and then you will stop. You need to be able to mix it up and change it up. Okay, that is huge.
That's so funny.
Now look at this.
He's
he
in
can
trouble.
come in here. Oh, he's in trouble town, my friend.
Creator right now. Not going to be too happy about this. There is Blink for Creator, so I guess he can try to blink out of there, but well, no, Blink
They're
won't
both
finish in
basically
time.
watching for this moment on this screen.
Okay, so some very good micro there from Deer.
Okay, I thought that was going to go much worse there for Creator, but not the end of the world there.
Yeah.
Immortals are coming out now. Now it's going to be 5 gateways total here for Deer. When those 3 finish, I mean. And it's actually Creator taking to third base. Now this is a bit counterintuitive to expansion timings in PvP right now in StarCraft 2. But in some ways, I'm okay with it because he's not in a great spot anyways, you know?
Well, Creator does have a lot of Blink Stalkers, which he should be able to utilize to keep his opponent back for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit surprised that he doesn't have them a little bit further forward. Like, I believe he actually has something like 12 Stalkers right now. And what I want to see is, okay, maybe he was waiting for this Observer, but what I want to see is him kind of poking just to keep Deer on the back foot, keep him in his main base, and this gives him time to get that third base and get his additional production up.
Okay. Stalkers coming here and hitting that Nexus. They're backing up now. Deer's defense pretty good. More and more Immortals are coming out here, and it looks like we actually might have an Immortal harass. I think the Warp Prism is going to loop around here, head south, hugging the corner of the map. And he might try to do a warp in the main here while dropping the Immortals, and then do a push with the Stalkers, Zealots, Archons, Sentries, and everything else he has. Now, when you have the Stalkers here for Blink Harass, it means you might not have the necessary defense to hold off a Warp Prism back at home. So even though this attack is going to do some decent damage here and unpower these buildings, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen when we get that Warp Prism into the main there for Creator.
I'm not sure exactly how many units that he has at the moment. It's like a double Archon drop actually coming up. That's very interesting from Creator, but here Deer goes, and ooh, that's a juicy pylon right there.
Yes, that is. No warp-ins here, just juggles from the Warp Prism.
Can be a little bit risky against Blink because of that right there. I can't believe he got out of there.
Had he lost that with the 2 Immortals, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a really big deal.
Okay, another drop comes in here. These Archons are going to try to hit these workers.
Warps in a single Zealot as well. I guess that can tank a decent amount, but yeah, I mean, the Archons are doing something at least for Creator. This isn't bad.
A further warp in here with some Zealots. We have, I believe it's half of Deer's army actually moving through the map. Now, he's going to unpower all these gateways. Okay, this math is getting very fuzzy for me. I don't know what.
I think that Deer is well ahead right now. Like,
okay.
Creator's making some good moves, but yeah, I'm really expecting Deer to just run over his third base or just kill him straight up.
We finally got to see an Oracle shoot down an Archon or Tosis. Let's just point that out here. This is going to be years before we see that again. Okay, so the Warp Prism is still here. Right now, Deer not able to march over and smash Creator just yet. Instead, Deer just respecting the threat of the Warp Prism, trying to clean up everything back at home in his base.
So Creator's actually up 13 probes right now. That's pretty impressive. +2 about to finish here for Deer, who's still waiting on his charge to finish as well. I'm fairly certain that the actual army is quite a bit stronger for Deer, so I really do want to see an attack coming up here. Let's see, he's a little bit out of position as Creator's coming in through the top part of the map.
Some of the army's disjointed, though. It's just Stalkers here, almost like feelers coming out to see what's actually here. Now, there's actually, I think they can just blink down or up if they need to get out. Almost seems like Deer's going to try to come in here and get some kind of an intercept.
They're going to push him back, loses just a couple of them. It looks like he's about to have charge on, but it's not done quite yet. 4 of his Archons are on the wrong side. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is a very odd pairing, as we have the Archons just fighting the Stalkers and Immortals. Meanwhile, the Zealots over here fighting some of the Immortals and some of the Archons.
Yeah, Deer is still going to win this.
Yeah, well, he just has too much. He's just overpowered him again. Deer just able to navigate a PvP much better than Creator so far in this best of 3. And is he going to get this?
Yeah. It's called... I guess not. Nice.
And I just looking at Creator's face here in the studio, I think he's just now kind of dawned on him how screwed he is here.
Oh yeah, there's really no way to hold on at this point. Deer again played just a beautiful, beautiful game here against Creator. I don't even think that Creator played poorly, but he's going up against one of the very strongest Protosses in the world right now.
Okay, a push comes in further here from Deer, and I think this should be the nail in the coffin. There's just no way. There it is, GG. Nicely done. Deer wins that 2-0, crushing Creator. And Deer with a smile on his face, muttering to himself, you know, he's looking primed to get out of this group.
Oh, absolutely. He looks like he's playing at such a high level right now. Creator did not look bad. This is a very tough group, though. So Deer will go and await the winner of Alive and Sue in that winner's match. And Creator, of course, awaiting the loser. But I thought that was quite a nice series, to be honest.
Yeah, Deer's looking very strong. I thought he handled the early game really well. Kind of the same concept in both games, just better early game from Deer allows him to end up beating Creator. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, our second best of 3 in today's GSL Code S.